You know what? I'm going to start all over again, but I'm live. Michael McCarsel's in chat. Hi, this is live. I have a mouse problem, and we just learned it. We have a mouse problem. I did 5 minutes of this show with none of you seeing any of it. I'll reenact it. It's Wednesday, December 20th. I don't know what made it to air or what didn't. It's the last show before Christmas. We'll get ready for Christmas. I had to manually start this episode. You start on OBS. Thank you, David McKay. David McKay, did you see anything? Was it just a blank screen for a long time? Matty Gunner's here. Matty Gunner, you back home. I have to start the show on OBS and then manually start on YouTube, which is a setting I can fix. And now this is the lesson I should have. I did do what I was supposed to do, but you ever click something with the mouse and then you're like, I hit it, and then you go to another page and then you didn't hit it. Your mouse missed the mark. That's what just happened to me. So I was doing the show for about 5 minutes, and I was looking down, and I was like, that's weird. No one's reacting to anything I'm saying, and I got showing that I got some live viewers, but no one's like, it's okay if you're quiet, but this is really quiet, and that was why. I didn't fail. The mouse failed. That's what I'll say. As I was saying, you didn't see any of it. As Kingsport Cout says, we didn't see bleep Ken. I like the lo-fi view of this show. I want this to be me literally having coffee and waking up with y'all. But I don't want to pull out the camera too far, lest you see things you shouldn't see. But because I'm getting ready to travel, I'm just going to show you. I've got my laundry here. And so I was like, don't pull out too wide. I don't want Kingsport Cow to see my dirty underpants. But then the important thing is I'm cleaning them. And we're heading out tomorrow. So if you are in the Pacific Northwest and you haven't made plans already, if you're watching later on the upload of this video, the comedy Capitol Hill Comedy/Bar is where we're going to do comedy. Mark Ellis headlining 2 shows, December 22nd and December 23rd. I'll be featuring. And Lisa Wallen, a friend of ours, Lisa Wallen, who is from Seattle, or from that area at least. She lives down here in L.A. She's a gamer, streamer. Fun to hang out with on the Comedy Store porch. But first time we're doing comedy together. She'll be there as well. And she's from the area, like I said, so it's like a home game. But it's almost like a home game for Mark Ellis and I. We go up to Seattle every year around this time. Mark's got some family connections in the area, so we kind of make it a fun little end-of-the-year show. And it is fun. We stay in a suburb of Seattle that I've been to. This will be like my 4th or 5th time, and it feels like I know the place. I know where to get my coffee. I know where to get my food. I know where to go for a walk. I got the place down, and I like that as well. So we'll switch over to the news view here and see what's going on in the world. Matty Gunner is back home. He was just returned to UK. He was out in Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. I'm so glad. I want to shout out Michael McCarsel, the detective, we call him around these parts, who was the first comment in chat this morning as a live channel member, and then sat there as the show didn't go live and stuck with me. He stuck with me. And I want to give a shout out to him. Channel members are here. Become a channel member. Support the channel. And as the year draws to a close, we'll do one more show at least before the falling of the year, the turning of the calendar page. But I want to shout out all of you who have supported through the channel membership. This is my, dare I say, gift back to you. You being a live audience of the show that I make live later, it's just fun, and that's not going to change. I like having the little tiny morning audience. I could go bigger. I could get 15 people hanging out with me, but I'd rather have my channel members watching live. The rest watch later. Like a channel member, JW Bassman. I was calling him Bassman for a long time because I like the idea of him being a traveling, comical hanging fish salesman. I don't know. Seattle's definitely on my list of places to visit, and that is something you should do. Seattle is wonderful. I like cold and rainy, gray spots. I don't know if I can do it that long all the time, but it's such a fun place to be. Great city. Great city. Michael says, just figured you'd be on eventually there. Thank you. That's called faith. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to get into, but we're gonna talk about getting ready for Christmas and where we're at mentally. If you celebrate Christmas, of course, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to all. Brian Till is here, and he agrees. Seattle is a fun. He just says Seattle's a fun, and I don't disagree with that at all. Don't disagree with that at all. We should also, since Brian's here, I'm going to sell before we go to the news. I'm going to sell. I changed the graphic and it didn't. See, this morning, a false start. That card says available 12/15. Well, that date has passed. We're 5 days past that. But you should check out the new 7-song EP from the Moon Angels, Broken Pieces and What Remains. Dare I say, it's a fun listen. Did I co-write the 7 songs on it? And it sounds like I'm biased? Yeah. But I'm really proud of it. So, quick look at the news. Some good things, whether or not it's not the end of the journey, but it's good steps forward. Israel returns to table for hostage negotiations. Bibi Netanyahu's in that picture, but I think the Israeli president he's the prime minister. Then there's the Israeli president. I don't know how that stuff works. I'll look at it. I'll read that Wikipedia article one day. Biden saying U.S. pushing for deal on hostages and a pause in fighting. They're working over, there's negotiations for, what's going on. Obviously, is it to the end of war or a pause in conflict? And that could go on for decades. How do you want to make everyone's feelings feel during the situation? But I think that's just, it's a good step forward. It's a good step forward. And this whole absolute ongoing tragedy on all sides of the coin, as I've said, has just... really, just exposed a lot of the divide, not just political divide, but the way a lot of us view the world, the way a lot of us view complicated things, the way your friends and you don't see eye to eye on things and you got to work around that. I mean, it's the last 5 years, 6 years, even going back 2016 has been that. But I think the Israel-Gaza war, if you can call it that or want to call it that, some might say genocide. Some would say resistance. Whatever you want to use. It's just frayed everyone at the stream. It seems, especially the people killed in it, and that's why I think at the end of the day this is a good thing. Real safe, insightful analysis for me. This is a good thing. But let's get this. I got to think. Again, not a foreign policy expert, not a Secretary of State. But even when you have someone like Biden kind of last week coming out and saying, hey, buddies, the world's turning on you. Maybe stop what you're doing or stop the way in which you're doing it, talking to Israel. You should be able to fight Hamas, but are you just stopping there? And maybe that's part of the tone and the tenor changing there. Because, Justice has noble beginnings, and it goes wrong fast. And I am there's thousands upon thousands of people have died in this ongoing tragedy. So I don't want to undercut it with a dumb example, but I witnessed an example of this Friday night. I was at a location, and Napzok 2028 got my vote. Matty Gunner says, I wouldn't want to run for president, and I'm a dumb man, so I wouldn't be president, or maybe that would make me president. I could see me turning 16 running for city council. I could see that, and that's not new. In like fourth grade, I wanted to be like Secretary of the Interior because I liked Yosemite. I was reading books on it in the fourth grade. I'll finish up the thought on this, and I don't want to undercut this real horrible real world tragedy. Ongoing, thousands upon thousands dead with this small little pithy example. But I was at a place Friday night in Hollywood. Someone was getting kicked out because they had done wrong. They were getting kicked out. They were drunk. They were abusive. They were aggressive. They were getting kicked out. And the security of the place was kicking them out. As the security director, I can tell you, establish your goals. What is your goal? get them out of the building, get them onto public property, and make them, in this case, the LA County Sheriff's Department's problem, not yours. That's the goal. That's justice. That's what you want to do. This is where you're headed. But along the way, this drunk, belligerent jerk and a-hole gets worse and worse because he's drunk and also defensive because he is one man versus now 6, 7, 8 security people plus a manager, a bartender, like everyone's there. And then they throw him on the street. That's the end of it. That's the end of technically your jurisdiction, but also that was your goal. This drunk, belligerent customer needs to get out of our building. We're going to help them. They did. They literally threw him on the sidewalk. Then they didn't leave. They didn't stand back. One step back was a policy we had in our security days. Take one step back to physically display that you are trying to de-escalate the situation and willing to let that happen. So they don't. What does he do? He slaps a female bouncer. Not good. So they proceed to beat the crap out of him. To a point where I was like, now they're the aggressors. Now they are subject to some sort of legal problems or arrest. But that's human nature. Number one, yeah, slap your employee, especially slap a female employee and your honor, your honor and your code, and then no, he can't do that. We're gonna do justice. Next thing you know, you have 7 dudes jumping one drunk dude on the city sidewalk. That is human nature. That is how we take justice and turn it into violence, uncontrolled rage and violence. And I just sat there watching. No one's going to take. I'm there at this place all the time. No one's going to take my word for it. But as a security director of 17 years, I can tell you, you had your goal, and you superseded it. You pushed past your goal to now be considered the problem. Yeah. And I don't mean to undercut the situation, but I look at Israel, specifically the government, not the people. I look at Bibi right there on my screen. The goal is to eradicate Hamas for the horrible thing they have done in this situation. Got it. You didn't stop there. And then other people are telling you, whoa, dude, back off, as some people were in this incident I was watching. Yo, dude, don't punch him. Doesn't mean the situation, the hospital situation, we're learning more about. Of course, it's complicated, but it's you easily push past your goals. You easily use the shield of justice to go beyond what you should be doing. And all that to say, Israel returns to table for hostage negotiations is a good headline. Catch up with Chad on that. Kingsport House says, sounds like me on a Tuesday. Michael McCarthy says, smaller scale to your experience, but in my haunted house job, we have a similar policy. As soon as the problem individual's out of the building, we leave them to the deputies outside. And trust me, I've arrested people 6 blocks away from the mall I was working at. And it was fun. That's the problem with this. And I'm not saying anyone in the Israel Defense Force finds this fun. I don't know. I'm backing off of that. But that's what I keep saying is when you watch all these incidents of things that are considered brutality or broadcast to the world as brutality or overreach, and you're shocked about how it happens, it's because it's fun. I've been there. I have been there where 6 of us are beating the shit out of a criminal because it's fun. No cameras are on us. We're the rule of law. That's human nature, and you got to push past that. J.W. Bassman says, escalation is easy, de-escalation is harder. Usually the right thing, is always hard to do. The right thing is always hard to do, yeah. Think of any argument you have. Think of Kingsport Cal. Think of all the arguments you've had with your ladies in life. And you've pushed past your goals to become the aggressor of the argument. and you lose them. The other headline, and we will get to some Christmas talk here. It's 19 minutes. We have an extra 5 because the whole live problem. Matty Gunner will tell you. Matty Gunner's a fighter, an MMA guy. He'll tell you. Why Colorado's ruling against Trump may be a double-edged sword. I haven't read this article yet, but a lot of people talking about this. Colorado Supreme Court has said that under the 14th Amendment, Trump cannot be on their Republican primary ballot because of his involvement in an insurrection. This, I don't believe. I've been watching some folks, including Bo, the Fifth Column, a lot of people saying, I don't know if it'll hold up. It will go to the U.S. Supreme Court. They'll probably overturn it. And I don't know, I couldn't argue against it. I couldn't argue for it. It just sounds like that's probably a little bit of a reality. Could I get this pop-up ad off? That's all probably true. But again, I'll take this headline. I will take this headline. If the Trump campaign has to get boiled and boggled down in little obstacles like this, which are big, I'll take it. Anything that's not a clear path to the White House for me and that man on the news screen there is a win for me. So we'll see. I don't want to read this article right now. Because it could probably, but I'm going to read the headline. Sometimes a sex tape is just a sex tape, an opinion article. When I'm done here on air, I think I got to do 2 things when I finish the show. I got to start my laundry, and I'm going to read that article because I want to know. This is why I like checking in on the news. And again, as I always say, CNN isn't necessarily my first choice. They are one of my top choices, but they're not necessarily my first choice for news. AP News is a place I go to a lot of like BBC News, as I've said before, but I don't need to explain it to anyone. This is why I like it. You got Israel returning to the hostage negotiation table. You got Colorado Supreme Court really hurting Trump's 2024 prospects. And also, sex tape is just a sex tape. Discuss. There you go. Matty Gunner says, I'm very quick to temper, but I've gotten better with age. Yeah. That's part of it, man. That's part of it. You're all saying great things about that. De-escalation is not just hard. It's a skill, says Michael McCarson. And again, the people, when often the causes are righteous and begin with righteous, they turn self-righteous fast. I said that about Count Dooku in Star Wars. You want to go down to the base level example. Count Dooku in Star Wars, for all you prequels out there, is an example of someone who had righteous concerns, righteous problems with not just the order, but the government and what was going on in the Republic at the time. And he ended up on a self-righteous quest that destroyed him and affected the lives and ended many lives of others there. So that's how it goes. All right, we got some time. Christmas. Simply have... Oh, no, I want to talk about a wonderful Christmas. I want to talk about this, too. Let's get this up. Oh, no, where did that Twitter... there it is. Okay, sometimes Twitter does weird things. There it is. Okay, this headline... This tweet happened. It kind of... there was a little viral reaction to it. And some idiot, RX Red Pill... says your daily reminder to avoid marriage. And it shows Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shea Smith, his wife, since about 2021. It's his second wife. They met. She was an American reporter. They have 2 kids together, 2 sons, I believe. Dylan and Paris, I think is the names. I did look that up. He's 70 now. I don't even think this picture is super recent because he's got a lot more gray in his hair than that. Matty Gunner says in chat, my issue is being able to step back over the line once it's been drawn. We'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that there. I agree with you. Anyways, he's 70 now. She's 60 now. And here's this daily reminder to avoid marriage. This is such the problem. This is an engagement account. This is an account that wants all the action. So here they are. They get the action. But what I'm glad people fought against this. This is what I like. I'm sure there were some idiots who agreed with this statement. And marriage is hard. Marriage isn't necessarily for me. Grace and I are permanently engaged, but that's not necessarily this. This is a couple that's been through life together, right? 2 kids, probably ups and downs. His career kind of sliding down, his career coming up. Her probably having to give up a lot of her career pursuits to raise 2 kids, this and that. And you know what? I'm sure he's got some money, and I'm sure they get to do things that you and I don't do, but they're still human beings that under the pressure of this kind of spotlight and these kind of tweets had to survive. There's that photo of them you see on the beach. She's in a bikini, and she's heavier now, right? She's not 20 years younger, and he's older and grayer and droopier. And there's people like, they see that, and you either react to that with, "Ugh, look at that, they're old. He should leave her for someone more beautiful," or look at them, they've survived. They've survived. And I am glad, talking about headlines, that we don't need to dive into the whole story. I did want to talk about this, that a lot of people were like, whoa. Not only, like, number one, in this photo, again, they're, I think, even older now than this photo. She ain't got nothing to worry about, right? And Pierce Brosnan, look at that. Takes the bow tie off. He's even sexier. There's nothing wrong. It's that Pam from The Office thing. They're the same picture. That's what this is. That's what that is. And age is a number, and we all are going to get to the finish line in a different way. But I just want to highlight too, I was encouraged because I saw this damn tweet go out. Your daily reminder to avoid marriage. And it's like, is that where we are? And look, people fought back against this. And not just women, men. And that's needed. Men, we need to be in these kind of fights. Men, we need to be in these kind of misogynistic, patriarchal fights. Look at this profile. Again, this is a professional troll who's happy with this 30.6 million view post here that I'm highlighting even myself. Campaigning against misinterest educational institutions who failed men. I'm so dumb I can't even read the word, but I know it's stupid. Who failed men. Despicable. And I'm so happy people fought against that. JW says, I've been married for 18 years, and yeah, my belt and pants are much tighter now. Yeah. We'd all love to stay 28, right? We'd all love to just stay Maxim magazine cover worthy by some, weird standard, right? That's what I mean. By some locked in, never to be changed beauty ideal. We'd love to all stay there. We'd love to get there and stay there. It ain't the way, man. It ain't the way. So to Keely Shea Smith and Pierce Brosnan, I've always been a Pierce Brosnan fan. Much love to you both. The title of this episode was Getting Ready for Christmas, so I best pay off some of the conversation. Catching up with other chat, Kingsport Cal says, that's why you marry your best friend. It doesn't matter what y'all look like when you get old. This is why I like Kingsport Cal, man. Kingsport Cal comes in sometimes to chat a little hot. He giggles when I say this. I know. He giggles wherever he is. He comes in a little hot. He says some things that you're like, whoa, Cal, hold on. Be polite. She's an attractive woman, but just stop. You have to do that with Kingsport Cal sometimes. But then he's got so much heart, man. Kingsport Cal, one of these days, man, I'm gonna be out in Kingsport, Johnson City. I'm gonna look you up. It's gonna happen. There's some comedy clubs out in that area. I'll get Mark Ellis to go out there. We'll do it. Michael McCarthy says, age comes for us all. If we're lucky, no one stays in their prime forever. I mean, I do. The point is that we're still in love. I won't have abs forever, but I know my partner will still love me. Exactly. I did, before we get to Christmas, Maddie Gunner, going back to the aggression and the de-escalation, Maddie Gunner's issue is being able to step back over the line once it's been drawn. That was always one of my hardest things in the security industry when the fight was on. And sometimes the fight is on. We've talked about that. That's the "You've Got Words for Me," which needs to be a T-shirt. Kingsport Cal, make those T-shirts. You can sell them. Just give me a cut. That was it's everyone's hardest thing. That we had policies in place for security staff like that. One step back was that. There was always, and hopefully it was a supervisor, but it was always someone who was able to tap another officer on the arm or shoulder and say, I'm the lead here. Step back, take a breath. Because it's going to happen because we're human. I lost it one time because someone told me as I was kicking him out, we were escorting him out, and he looked at me in the eyes and said, I have pairs of jeans worth more than your life. Fact or no, I'm 23. I'm trying to make it in life. I'm eating leftover hot dogs for dinner. That was a painful barb, and I lost it, man. I lost it. And I had to be pulled back. A police officer actually had to pull me back. And that's just the reality of the situation. I like to think that Joe Biden right now is the one going up to the very alt-righty Bibi Netanyahu and saying, buddy, one step back, man. You're about to lose the plot here. So, Maddie, don't feel bad about that. You just got to have folks around you that can tap you on the shoulder. Now, it doesn't mean every once in a while it ain't go time. Go time comes for you. But having someone around you to help you through that was there. Christmas time, simply having a wonderful Christmas time. I was trying to get to a Christmassy background here. Maybe I'll just do the, hold on. I don't want you, I hate when you have to see my back end. Giggity. But you're going to have to. Let's just do that. Boom. All right. Christmas time in the city. I hope you're all, if first of all, I hope if you're celebrating Christmas, like I said, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, or happy, it's going to be a happy Monday for you. And that's big for me too. We talked a little bit about the war on Christmas bullshit that's out there. It ends on that level for me. Do you celebrate Christmas? Merry Christmas. Does that person celebrate another holiday or no holiday at all? You don't need to say Merry Christmas to them. It's not a war on your holiday. It's an acknowledgement of people in the room that aren't you. But for me, I celebrate Christmas. I do like Christmas. I like Christmas. In fact, it is a cold, rainy day here in Burbank. And we're going to go to even colder, rainy Seattle tomorrow. And for me, I don't live in a winter wonderland. I love that feeling. And I do love the idea of the closing of the year. And I do love the idea of taking the time to get a gift for someone or getting together with family or friends if you choose to be with your family, if you choose to be with your friends. Or, like me, if you've chosen to be alone on Christmas. That's worked for me a few times. You can still find joy in it. I think there's a lot of reasons for the seasons that people attach to this holiday. And if those work for you, they work for you. And I do think it has some spiritual connotations for someone like me who was raised in the church. I still go with that general spirit. We know that, and I hope you all know, Jesus Christ wasn't born on December 25th. It would be weird for the shepherds to be in the field seeing a star during the dead of winter anyways. But centuries after the birth, still can't be confirmed, we come up with this holiday. Based around the celebration of winter solstice, based around the Roman Saturnalia festival. All those things, the real history is out there. JW says it's cold and rainy here in SLO, and it's glorious. Glorious. Say hi to my SLO friends up there, JW. So yeah, Jesus is still partially the reason for the season for me too. It's never that I'm trying to undercut that. I've got a This Day in History coming out on Christmas Day that is meant to ruffle some feathers and get people thinking, but it's part of the season for me. But also, a lot of us are limping towards the end of the year. A lot of us are trying to figure this out. And more than any other year, I've been around a lot of people. I have one or two friends who are doing well and have succeeded all through the year, and God bless them. Support them support them in their highs and support them in their lows. Support your friends there. But I am limping into the end of the year. I don't believe that all your problems go away on January 1st, but it can definitely affect your energy. And that can breed changes as well. So the getting ready for Christmas for me this year is trying desperately to just be nice to myself as the year ends, to not beat myself up for things that I didn't accomplish, things that I wanted to do but didn't, or problems that are still going on with my life. I have not been on a stand-up comedy stage in almost 2 months. COVID took out some of the dates. I wasn't getting booked at some of the clubs. I've been rejected by some shows here in town, which I don't understand why. But I'm doing 2 shows with Mark, and I was starting to beat myself up, going, I'm not ready. What did I do? I was supposed to do more shows between New York and here. And I just told myself the gift you're unwrapping for yourself is it's okay. You're gonna go out and do these 2 shows in Seattle. It's gonna be fun. Whether it's 5 people in the audience or 500, doesn't matter. You're going to have fun. You're going to close out the year. You're going to celebrate what you did do. What you did do this year. And what we did do this year is often tied to things you can put down on paper. I got to go to London for the first time. I got to have an upper crust sandwich with my buddy Matty Gunner. Watch it. Jealous of the sandwich I had. I got to record a comedy album in England at the Harrison Pub and release it. I got to go to Paris for the first time, a city I fell in love with the moment I was walking around. London too, Maddie. London too. But Paris was special. I got to release a music album, something I've been wanting to do since I was 18, 19 years old. A kid with no musical talent, no dexterity in his fingers to play guitar. I still don't have that. But I have 7 songs co-written with 2 wonderful genius souls, and I have so much pride for the work they did, and therefore the work I was able to do with them. Out now. Check it out. But those are things you can put down on paper. But what are the things that are just things you did this year that are emotional, that are maturity related, that are risk-taking, that are growth related? Focus on that too. We'll probably come back to some of this before the end of the year, but what did you do out there this year for those around you, for yourself? Were there changes and decisions you made that even in the midst of all these struggles, even in the midst of all these trials, you still were able to do? You were still able to move forward? You're still able to find joy in the problems? Robbie Smith and I have a show on this channel called Our Biggest Win. If you've ever followed Robbie's life, especially the last 4 or 5 years, there's not a lot of wins, but the act of finding the win is a win itself. And as the year closes, unwrap those gifts for yourself, just as you're investing in those around you. Let's be kind to ourselves. I fail at it daily. Talk about this with my buddy Adam Knight. We talked about this in our interview here on the channel as well, the Blathering Conversation with Adam Knight. Be kind to yourself. De-escalation's hard. Self-kindness is hard too. So there you go. That's my thought as I head towards the end here on this bonus long edition of 20 Minutes of Coffee, which is really only 30 minutes because of my 5-minute false start. I got a nice haircut and a beard trim yesterday. I'm looking good for these shows. All right? I'm looking good. I'm out of here soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a channel member. Thanks for supporting. It's out now because the wrong graphic is loaded in, but Broken Pieces of What Remains is available. Support us directly on Bandcamp. And when I say support us directly on Bandcamp, I mean if you go and pick up that album, $10, we'll get $7 of that immediately. I want you to listen to it on the other spots as well. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. We're doing okay on Spotify. Like we got 13 cents waiting for us, but that's the thing. We'll get that 13 cents in like 6 months. Bandcamp, you support artists directly. My album's on there as well. Also, if you're on TikTok or Instagram and you do reels or stories, you can include Moon Ager's music into it, and that'd be kind of cool. Do a post with that. Call to action. All right. Are we ready for Christmas? Are we ready to fight and then not fight? I'm ready to finish my coffee and read that article about sometimes a sex tape. It's just a sex tape. Bye, friends.